So I don't want to. I personally am not going to name a starting 11. Can you stop? I'm not going to name a starting 11 because it really doesn't make a difference. But it would probably be similar players with a different formation or something like that. So like, it doesn't make a difference to me. But I think with the players they have, they should be able to get it done. So yeah, maybe a spoil of riches, especially at right back. But that even makes it more unacceptable though. The fact that they have so much talent and they can't, they're struggling they're leaving good players out because they have other good players that they want to bring, and the fact that they're probably still not going to do anything. It's like I can't do it anymore. I feel like the Arsenal fan right now. Like
who would you start at right back?
Huh?
Let's do this. Who would you start at right back?
Who would I start at right back?
Yeah.
Have to start Walker.
I would probably. Honestly, I would have brought Aaron Wan-Bissaka as well. I don't know if I'd start him, but it would be between him and Alexander Arnold. He's obviously out, so there's nothing we can do about that. But it would be between those two because I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka is just a solid player.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, no Man U out there. I'm not a Man U fan, but I would have to agree with that. My opinion.
Yeah, because there's games I feel like, and that's where it was kind of weird how he brought Walker, Reece James. Trent's gone now. I think he just got replaced with Ben White, and then. So I feel like he's bringing very similar right backs.
Yeah, he just brought the same player, like 3-4 versions of the same player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
his strongest position.
Okay, what happens when you guys face Portugal or France, where you're most likely not going to have a lot of possession? You know what I mean? Where you're going to need a lot more defending.
Who is going to mark Mbappe?
Exactly.
Well, the way the schedule's set up, England would probably play for France in the finals now. That's so.
I think England faces.
If they make it to the finals.
No, it's weird, right? Because
it's
So I think whoever comes first in Group F, whoever comes first in England's group plays someone from France's group. I think if England comes second, then they play a different group. This year is a bit weird how they're doing it this year. It's not going to be one group plays the other. It's a bit different, I would say.
How many teams are in the Euros this year? Because weren't they talking about doing like a new Euro format? I can't remember if it was for this one or maybe the
20.
next one. Huh?
There's 6 groups of 4.
Okay.
5 groups of 4, sorry.
5 groups of 4, okay.
6 groups of 4, so 24.
No, it's 6. It's 6.
6 groups of 4, 24.
Yeah, so it's the same as the last one, but there's that weird, like, because it's 6 groups, it's not just like a matchup. There's like a third person makes it in from a couple of groups. Sorry, Joel, go ahead.
No, there's a playoff for like 4 additional teams, basically. That rounds out 6 groups of 4.
It's like what they did with the NBA. Wild card.
Yeah,
basically.
They did it at the last Euros as well. Yeah. But yes,
that's right.
Okay,
by the way,
maybe
this is not an NBA. Sorry, go ahead.
Maybe I'm thinking of the World Cup then, because I remember they were thinking of expanding one of the international tournaments to like 48 teams or something like that.
28 for Qatar and then 32 for North America.
Okay.
The Super League is taking applications. The Super League's taking some applications.
Oh my goodness. What was your guys' take on, I know I had mentioned it in the group and Kels was trying to give Henderson the benefit of the doubt, but what's your take on Southgate taking 2 basically injured players to the tournament, because Maguire is still not fit, and then you have Henderson who has barely kicked the ball since March.
He didn't take Trent.
He's going for the leadership qualities of it. So what makes, like, I'm just so curious to know. It's why couldn't you have taken like Lingard? Why couldn't you have taken someone else versus squeezing in players that are not fit? But Southgate says he's doing it based on form.
Let me just say, in my opinion, this might be a little biased. I'm not gonna lie, but in my opinion, I wouldn't take a fully fit Henderson. Okay, I just wouldn't. I don't
agree.
I wouldn't take a fully fit Henderson. I think
Speaking my language.
Better
Oh, there
players.
he is. Hey, Kels.
I wouldn't take a fully fit Henderson. I think there's better players than him.
I agree.
It doesn't make sense to take Harry Maguire unless you can guarantee that he's going to be fully fit and, you know, sharp for it. And I don't see it. I don't see it just because of him coming off an injury. That's just the way it works. So to me, it doesn't make sense to take those two players. But, you know, again, this is why I have a problem with Southgate. It's just like, I don't know what goes on in his head when he makes these decisions or picks his teams, because there's other players that are on form that you could take and that will still do a job. You could give a chance to other people. Let's be honest. We're not going to win it, okay? We're not. Give a chance to some youngsters or something. I don't know. Why take injured players to the Euros?
Yeah. And especially like, because Maguire, you know, he probably has another Euros, you know, under his belt. Mm-hmm. Like, you can probably, because he's still young enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just doesn't make sense for me. Does anyone else want to chime in on that in terms of what you think, like Southgate was thinking by taking 4 right backs and basically leaving some talented players at home?
He's going to play with 2 defenders and 8 people in the midfield.
Literally, yeah.
I mean, that's fair. Yeah, it's probably going to be a back 3. That's the lineup, a back 3, and he's going to overload in mid, right? I mean, in fairness, like you know, I support England. My dad's it's like England sort of like who we root for, right, internationally. This is probably one of the more talented teams that we're taking from a forward standpoint. You know, there's a lot of goals in this team, but I don't trust Southgate at all. I think Southgate is, you know, it's a shame that he's having the opportunity to sort of manage this team. You know, I think about, like, you know, someone like an Arsene Wenger, basically, right? I hate bringing it back to Arsenal. He would, like, this is the team that he got his badges for, basically, right? Like, this is the team that he was just a team full of midfield riches, goals in midfield, you know, amazing, like, forward line full of like youth and like pace. And then you've got like one of the finest strikers in the world right now, Harry Kane, right? He will stay fit for the whole tournament, basically, because he can do 10 games. And then things fall apart, right? So it's
Joel, sorry, I'm sorry, but you said midfield riches.
I think
you think this England team
more like forward heavy?
I'm sorry. I'm talking about more of the attacking mid. So
okay.
Like I'm not, okay. yeah. So I'm talking more sorry. Like, I meant more like goals for midfield. Like, I'm talking more like the forward, the attacking mid, right? Because like this team is going to basically overload mid. That's the setup that he wants to play, right? He's going to play a back 3, basically, in my opinion. That's going to be how he sort of sets up against Portugal and the likes of Spain, right? Because England's going to probably face one of those 2 teams right out of the group stages, right? So that'll be the interesting test. But I mean, from a squad depth, you know, you guys touched on it, right? I think England's one of the deeper teams going into this competition. I'd probably say, you know, maybe Belgium has a little bit more depth. Spain, even though they're taking a few less players, they have a very interesting makeup actually going into this competition, right? So to me, those 2 are like the wild cards in terms of depth. But in terms of talent, I still think France is the runaway, and Germany is a bit of a black sheep. You know, so like I think this is a talented bunch, but you know, the hype is in England they're the favorites. Probably not the favorites outside of England, right?
You said something that was interesting, that Belgium was quite deep. Where? Belgium has starting
everywhere apart from the defense.
I would say
even in the midfield.
Goal. No,
even in the midfield. Let's tell me who they have. Like, I honestly, I'm thinking about it, and I don't see who they have besides the starting 11.
We'll have to wait to see how De Bruyne does, actually, because that midfield could change very, very quickly.
And who replaces him?
Listen,
exactly. They're not that deep, man. Netherlands are deeper than Belgium.
That's a tough question to ask. You're basically saying the best player is out. Who replaces the best player in the team? Like you?
No, I'm not saying who plays the best player in the team. I'm saying who replaces that position. Such
De Bruyne
the next
is
best
the
person
best
to plays
player
that.
on that team.
Who's the next best person to replace that position?
Well, they can change their system if they have enough like midfield players, I think. But I think what's happening amongst these teams is like I feel like there is this massive gap in the holding role. Like England has that problem, Belgium has that problem to me, and so does Spain, so does Portugal. Like there's this whole thing. It's like there's an overload of like attacking talent, but it's just not a lot of teams that are actually balanced, right?
I mean, Spain has two, right? They have Busquets and Rodri. I mean, Busquets is got COVID, but they have Rodri, right?
I can't. I just had to giggle at the mention of Busquets.
You know why I said that, right?
In 2021,
Rodri. Yeah, sure. Ramos was too old and useless, but Busquets, let's bring him. Yeah. Let's bring him. I mean, there's the Madrid side coming up, I think, a little bit, not so much, but that's that. Anyhow, I think there's a lot of teams with a lot of attacking talent, but I think a lot of teams are just hurting and like from the number 6 back. Like we have good goalies, but then that first third, like a lot of I think this is where England is going to go down. I think this is where I feel like a lot of those smaller teams can because they just they have basically a bunch of 7s across the team, and then you have a bunch of teams who have 9s in the top final third, and then 5s in the bottom half. And I think that's kind of where the balance is gonna shift a little bit. And France is just France is just really lucky that they have the Conte Pogba pairing back there is kind of ridiculous.
And that's even before you bring up Camavinga, right? And then behind them you have Koundé, you have Varane, you have you got people, right? Like France, if France loses this, they fully underperform. Deschamps should be fired before the next World Cup. It is incredible. It's actually even worse than Belgium losing in the World Cup in Russia. In my opinion, even though people think Belgium should have won somehow.
Belgium still has Vermaelen on their roster. Really?
Yeah, well, that's because Van Dijk is injured, right? They had to bring somebody back, right?
Van Dijk is Dutch. Vermaelen, what is?
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Is it Alderweireld
and Vertonghen?
They have Vertonghen, Alderweireld, but why is Vermaelen still? Where does he even play, Joel? I don't.
It's like Henderson. He's there for the morale and the locker room.
No. Stop it, please. Stop insulting Henderson, guys. He's not still at Barca. No, I think he's in Russia.
I mean, now he's at the Euros, so.
So just to find out, before we leave England and move to the to Group F, I want to talk about Group F as well, because I think that's the group of death, if you want to call it that, in terms of France, Germany, and Portugal. Which I don't. You guys haven't mentioned Portugal, but I think Portugal is. I think after France, I'll be nervous for Portugal, but.
If sorry, I'm just saying I'm putting up my hand to respond to your question. I'm just letting you finish though.
Yeah. Okay. To respond to the question. Okay. For England, who would you guys? Because I know there's a lot of debate of will Sterling start over Grealish, Sancho, Rashford. What would be your preferred front three to start for England?
Before the English fans talk, I just want to say England's problem is going to be coming into form during the tournament. Like you said, you have two people who are not fit to be, and then you have Sterling who wasn't fit in the end. You have Sancho who has not been fit all year, right? You have Kane who needs to really not get injured, And I mean not an injury. I mean not even a tweak, right? In order for that fire form to progress through. And then you have a Reece James who just barely came into form at the end there. Like England's problem is going to be coming into form, and I think ultimately Jadon Sancho playing as a winger will hurt you more than playing him in the midfield as an attacking mid. I don't.
Ooh.
I don't. Yeah. I only say that because Jadon Sancho needs touches on the ball. And sure he can attack through the wing. Hazard can attack through the wing. But their mentality is multiple touches. And I think if Southgate doesn't give him that role, it's going to hurt England more if he's on the field. And so if it was me, I would play what he's been playing. You play Sterling, you play Kane, and I don't know, find some other winger to play.
Kayo Saka.
No. You can't play Sterling. You can't play Sterling. Sancho has played more games than Sterling and has better stats than Sterling this season. If Sancho's been out of form, Sterling's been more out of form. In my opinion, anyway.
No, Sancho isn't out of form. He's just been inconsistent. That's really it.
Sterling has been more inconsistent than Sancho has. This is just my perspective. Is you bench Sterling, like you do not start him unless you bring him off the bench and let him earn his keep. He does not get his guaranteed start. I would play Kane for sure as number 9. I would play Sancho as your either left or right wing. I guess he plays better on the right, I guess. And I would figure out somebody else on the left. I think Grealish should not play on the wing. I think he should play as a cam or center attacking mid. And then you just figure out, I think England's biggest problem is who is going to anchor that team. Like who is going to be the number 6 for them?
Yeah.
I would say Rice, Declan Rice, but
some say Rice. Some say Hendo. That's up for grabs.
It's not going to be Hendo.
No one that isn't wearing a Rockaware shirt says Hendo.
Okay. I refuse to watch any game where Henderson is starting. I'll turn off my TV. Okay. I'll watch Latvia versus San Marino before I watch that.
Yo, don't hate on Latvia, fam.
But
don't hate on mighty Latvia, fam.
Play Rice. I don't like his face. It looks like Dracula to me, which is neither here nor
and then
there.
you have Morrison, right? I think from Leicester City. That's the other holding mid. I don't know if he made it. I'm asking.
The problem with England, though, I feel like is like that starting lineup. It's gonna be like the first time they're playing together. Really, like who is England's like first 11? Like I feel like every other team they've kind of worked it out. Like England has the talent, but it's just like they've like just over rotated for a very long time, and it's kind of weird.
It's so annoying as well. Like you look at the teams that we've had in the past, and it's like, how haven't they won anything?
Yeah.
How haven't they won anything? Even this team right now, there's so many talented players. Like that, and I think that's what really, really frustrates me about it is that they really, really should have by now. And like this, it's not even necessarily them, playing really, really well and losing where you can just be like, okay, fair enough. 9 times out of 10, they usually bottle it themselves. They're like an international Tottenham. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like it's so frustrating.
I think it's a combination of. I think it's a lot of pressure, right, from the fan base. I think 1, and then 2, you have. I think the coaches that England seems to go for. I just don't. I always question it. You guys have never really gone for the top international managers, and I think that's also another issue as well. And I think like you said, it's a bit different now because when you talk about when you listen to the ex pros like your Rios, Scholes, all those guys talk about Steven Gerrard, how they talked about how in the canteen they didn't actually like sit together, but now you can see Mace, Declan Rice, Grealish, they're all friends. So I think that could definitely help England a lot more now.
Yeah.
I think that's where you guys stand a chance.
To be fair, and judging that Rios had like United is miles ahead of Liverpool, even though Liverpool was missing half of. All I'm trying to say is I don't know how much value I place in these people's reviews, because it's one thing to be able to strike a ball into the top of the net or to be able to slide tackle. It's a whole other thing to be able to actually like analyze stuff. And like the Gerrard, like that team, that Lampard, Gerrard,
Be back in a sec.
Beckham team. It was just like it's the same issue of like England. I feel like what England has missed for the past 20 years, I'd say, since I've been conscious of watching soccer, is they just don't have an anchor. Like they don't. It's the same thing. Like Gerrard, how do you a midfield with Joe Cole, Beckham, Gerrard, and Lampard? Yes,
and
those are really good players.
What was Scholes on that? I think Scholes was playing wing too at some point.
Yeah, Scholes and Joe Cole were basically Joe Cole wasn't starting. So it was Lampard, Gerrard, Beckham, and Scholes. I'm like, I have no issues understanding how that team didn't win anything, because like you should have picked just because you have a bunch of ballers doesn't mean that you have to play them all you just need to pick the right person in each position. And so I feel like England used to fall into this type of playing names. And then now they actually have like better ballers, I'd say. But there's just no balance on the team. I don't know how to explain it other than saying that. I feel like they constantly put up these teams where they have a lot of talent, but then the teams, they rotate so much on the path to get in there. And then once they get there, there is just no balance. It's like, yeah, you had Rio Ferdinand and John Terry. Those are both sweepers, right? Like they're both like everybody's really good at playing the exact same roles, and then you just kind of like play the same player in multiple places. But like you're a really good player, but you're playing like half the team out of position. That's my whole thing with India.
People. And I think Saka is that kind of player too. When that comes to mind, whereby it's like I don't think we even know Saka's best position, because he's.
Well, Joel knows.
In my heart.
Just before Joe gets there, just before Joe gets there, I think it's Faden. That's how you say his name. So this his first 11 for England. Thank you for putting a comment there. So his first 11 is Henderson, Walker, Maguire, Stones, Shaw, Foden, Rice, Mount, Sancho, Kane, and Grealish. That's a pretty strong starting 11. I think probably Mount and Rice would probably be the pivot.
It's playing 4-2-3-1,
and then Foden would be basically the cam.
Sorry, who?
I don't know.
Rice, Foden, and Mount.
Yeah. So this formation,
it's a 4-2-3. It's a 4-2-3-1, I think.
Yeah. But who's the two? Rice and who?
So be Rice and Mount.
Rice and Mount. They're both attacking.
What do you mean?
Mount and Foden are both attacking mids.
I know Rice
is
Grealish.
Can't be Foden.
No, they're playing 4-1-4-1, man. Like this is the problem with Kelechi's been talking about.
He can play box to box. Sorry, go ahead.
No, he cannot. Dude does not play box to box.
He's got the energy too, right? And that's what he's.
No, he's just young. He's just young. Doesn't mean he has the brain, right? Chelsea can never. What do you mean? He had Conte. When has Mount ever had? He had Conte, Jorginho, and he had Kovacic. When has Mount ever had to track back so hard?
Yeah, Rice would play anchor.
Right.
And I'm going on a limb here, but I think because of the other
4-1-4-1.
No, I think Foden probably plays box to box in this formation. He can do it better than Mount. I mean, it's not Foden's ideal position. I
think Foden would be like
neither of their ideal position.
The false nine, I would say.
They might alternate. They might alternate, right? Where you have this sort of back. If one is up, one is back. One is up, one is back. The Kroos Modric scenario. Once they both got to that point.
Yeah. I mean, I think Foden's probably got the intelligence and the IQ to pull that off. I don't think Mount does. So that's.
Well, that's fair.
This formation, though, when you look at this formation and you just see the names and you don't think about the formation and the tactics, it just speaks to what Kelechi just said, right? This is a team of talent, but when you actually put all the pieces together, it's like it's the same pieces, so they don't fit into a full puzzle, right? It's like you've got the same pieces, right? So, like Mount and Foden, technically the same players. Foden's probably a lot more talented right now, right? So who's the anchor? Rice? Sure, you can give him a shot. And then you have the same problem up front, right? Sancho and Grealish. Maybe Grealish should play attacking mid and Sancho should be on the wing. But again, they're probably going to get in each other's way a bit, right? So, like, to me, looking at this formation as a whole, the only players here that are surefire to kind of start on this team when fit, Kane, number 9, and I don't see the goalkeeper here. Is that no?
Henderson, Dean Henderson.
Oh, Dean Henderson. Sorry.
Yeah, Dean Henderson. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. I saw Henderson and I thought that was Hendo. Wait a second.
No. Fidan, he would have put Hendo instead of Henderson. Let's be very real.
Just to say, what would you guys take out and replace from this lineup?
Mount.
If you were Southgate.
Mount for Hendo, Kel?
Mount for anybody else that is an anchor. I think
there is nobody else.
I feel like Joel
play Calvin Phillips. I'll play Calvin.
Yeah, just Phillips.
I would play Calvin. Honestly,
I was obviously gonna say Hendo, but I don't want to get crucified for that anymore. So I'm off the Hendo tip. But anybody else who plays a 6, quite frankly, I think. Sorry, Joel. I think I cut you off. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, right, you probably play 3 at the back, and then in front of them you play Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice, and then in front of them, this is where it gets tricky, right? Like you could probably play Grealish and then Sancho, Sterling on the wing, and Kane in front of them. I don't know. I mean, Foden probably deserves a shout too. He's had a pretty solid season, right? But I think you're right. You guys have hit it on the head, right? England has a problem in that anchor role, and I think the best way to solve that is to play a back 3 and play 2 in front of them. So ideally,
what 2 would you play in front of them?
Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice. Those are the 2. Those are the 2 that
name from Bellingham from what's it called?
Bellingham?
Dortmund, but he's an attacking mid, right?
He's another like Sancho. Essentially.
Exactly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like I think
very raw.
I wouldn't start Foden. I wouldn't start Foden right away, to be honest.
You wouldn't start Foden? Is this the man? Okay, guys, we're gonna have to take that.
No. I feel like it's just because I want him to maybe. I feel like he needs to come into the tournament. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel like he should start the first couple of games. I feel like he should come off the bench and kind of like show what he's got first.
Who was a better central attacking-minded midfield player than Foden that England has currently?
I would put Grealish in there.
Grealish hasn't played in like
yes.
I
guess it's a hard one because Grealish he's a free roam kind of player. He's not a I think
the problem with Grealish, I think Kelechi might have been trying to get at this. He hasn't played at that point, right? He hasn't played at that level, right? I think
he's been injured for the past like 4 months. Like he's
coming off the back of 2 good seasons, but he's finished the season poorly. But that's through injury, right? I think Foden's the number 3 name on the starting 11 after Kane and the goalkeeper. That's to me. Like,
Kane writes himself. Henderson as a starting goalie, I feel like Fidden might be a Man United fan. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, he put Foden there though, and Grealish and Mount. I don't think those. Okay, Shaw was the only United. He didn't even put Rashford in there, so it's definitely not a United.
No, but like Rashford, come on, nobody's gonna legitimately justify Rashford starting on this England squad. Coming off the bench for sure, in my opinion, anyways. But starting is.
Rashford feeds the kids, okay? Rashford feeds the kids. He deserves a starting spot.
By kids, he means Saka.
Okay, yeah. So
listen. I think what we're basically saying, right, is this is a very talented squad, but they're not balanced, and I think that's going to be the challenge. But this Euros is also setting up very interestingly because some of the top teams are also not balanced outside of France. I think France is on another tier. Like they're on a tier of their own, basically. They're like Super League level, right? And then you have all these other teams, basically. That you have like the Europa sort of teams, right? Where England is, near the top, but doesn't say much, right? There's no balance,
I would put 3 national teams ahead of England. And that doesn't include France. England's balance problem will be the end of them because they'll face a team like Scotland in their group who has performed very well and will get handled because Scotland is just going to wait, and then break. And because you don't have that person in the middle, as Tuchel taught us, yes, I'm giving props to Tuchel, you need a holding midfield player if you're going to get counterattack. And the problem with Southgate, to my boy in the red here, the problem with Southgate is this. He's trying to play this Pep Guardiola style of we move the ball around, we take up all this possession. That's what crippled them in the last World Cup. They got beat on counters. They got destroyed on counters. And so my problem is if you don't have a Hendo that is fit, or you don't have somebody who can actually sit there, maybe Phillips can do it. Maybe we're going to see a Phillips come to form or whatever you want to call it. But the 3 teams I would put ahead of England is Belgium, right? It's Netherlands, and it's Italy. And Italy, for me, is the underdog that nobody's talking about. These guys have scored 72 goals, guys, 72 goals, and have conceded the least. Unbeaten. They're unbeaten in like some stupid amount of games. And they are so balanced. So. They have veterans, they have the future, and they have current people. And so for me, I would put those 3 teams, of course, France, those 3 teams. If I follow my boy Joel's analogy here, the Super League, France, the 3 teams in Champions League, and then you have England who tops the Europa. And I think England, the way they're trying to play and the lack of balance, their susceptibility to counterattacks is going to hurt them. Because one thing we didn't talk about in Feeding's, I'm sorry for butchering your name, man, lineup is you're starting Maguire, who isn't fit. What's going to happen when you're getting counterattacked with nobody to protect them?
I'm still kind of curious to see that Maguire and Stones partnership, man. It's just going to be another Linda Soft and Maguire.
Linda Soft.
To me,
I love it.
To me, Maguire is head and shoulders above Stones. It sucks that he's not fit. Stones is just like Stones reminds me of like a Arbeloa. If I don't know if you guys heard him last Madrid. From Madrid,
he was Real Madrid, right? Yeah.
Yeah, just these types of players were like, yeah, sure, they'll show up in one day and like
their bodies.
Yeah, they'll clear the ball off the line against Barcelona in the final minute this one game, but then the remaining 37 games of the season, like they're just
David Luiz.
I feel like
he'll clear the ball on the line in that one game.
He's a tier lower though. He's also going to get you like 7 red cards. So
he might score 3 free kicks in the season as well too. Yeah, Luiz, he gave us something.
John Stones doesn't have that going for him though.
Well, I guess that's fair. Yeah,
doesn't even have the free kicks going for him. It's like, what is he there for? He literally is a body.
Maybe one header in the entire season,
or that one long pass, to the wing. Like
just pass the ball to Edison. He's that's better. I mean, he's dropping those nonstop, right?
That's true. Yeah.
So I think, in my opinion, I actually think England is like. I think England should. So, okay. So I feel like I'm playing devil's advocate a lot tonight. and with England, which is weird because this is a team that I've not liked. I just don't like England, period. Charles, I'm really sorry. It's nothing personal.
No, it's cool. I don't like Real Madrid, so you know.
Fair. I like that. Okay, so it's the whole thing where it's like, to me, England is. I think it's just France and Germany that are better than England, quite frankly. Because Joel made an excellent point, in my opinion. Like, every team is wildly unbalanced, and if you look at just the talent profile across the board, I really do think this is to me the most talented England team I have ever seen. In terms of like, there's versatility. They have different types of players. Like, yes, they got 7 versions of the same right back for some reason, but everywhere else though, I feel like there is a lot of complement. There's a lot of people that are comfortable on the ball, which I don't think I've seen in most other England teams. Like, I feel like this is a team that has the most creators, as opposed to just like, okay, like, hit it out wide, bring it in, and head it into the net. Like, that whole formation, I feel like is switching. And so in that regard, I don't see I'm not on the board of like, I actually like Southgate. I think he's one of the best managers England has had, quite frankly, because to me, it's like he's pushed the envelope more than everybody else. Everybody comes in and it's like, who are we comparing him to? Like,
can I ask you?
Please.
Can I ask you a quick question? Based on, you said he's one of the best England managers that we've had. Are you basing that on his results as England manager, or like his credentials versus other previous managers that we've had?
So it's a mixture. His results for sure, but what's really driving my whole thing is what he's doing. So it's kind of a gift and a curse, because I like that he has rotated the thinking. So he's brought in different types of players. Like, he hasn't just brought in the usual mold of players. Like, right? Like, we're gonna play 4-4-2. We're gonna play it out wide, bring it in, and then hit it through the middle and wait for set pieces. So I like that he's brought in like creative players. And I think you can't discount his results. But the main thing I like is that he's challenged the status quo in terms of phasing out old players who were bona fide players, but encouraging creativity, or at least trying it out. Because I think that's the only way England is gonna win. Like, it's like they have to use the new blood, part of my colloquialism, but and I think so I actually don't subscribe to the thing of like how is he worse than anybody else before him? Everybody else would just bring in Beckham and Gerrard and Lampard and just wait for them to win. And it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, they were picking names. Yeah, picking names instead of. But I think also what has helped England as well too is the crop of international players that have come into the league as well. And you also seen a lot of the young British players going overseas to, the ones that, for whatever reason they can't make it at a young age in England. They're going elsewhere to practice their trade. And I think that can only, and also the foreign managers that are in the EPL as well. I think a combination of all three is really what is helping England now. Like we said,
so are you saying
versatility now in the players that are coming up for England?
So you're saying the talent pool, like as a result of the EPL just basically being more international, the talent pool in England is more diversified. So you're saying Southgate just has more talent available, and so his results are a result of his increased talent pool?
I think it's like a combination of like I'm not discrediting what you're saying that he's done in terms of having the because like you said, he could have all that talent but still not pick them. Like, I know that was a huge thing with him and Grealish. I don't think he likes Grealish that much, and there's always been a debate of is Grealish going to be picked for England and stuff like that. But I think that has really helped him to get to where he is now. Is the culture is different, like we were saying, whereby they're all playing FIFA together. They all grew up together, like Declan, Mount. They all like grew up together. Sancho, Foden, Rashford. They're all friends, right, from Manchester. So
my question is like, because I want to understand the argument against him, right? Because I'm obviously like tunnel vision, but I want to understand like what am I like. I guess everybody here doesn't like him. So like, what is it about?
Yeah, I honestly don't really have anything against him, to be honest. I just hear a lot of the English fans say that he's like my boy Flawless would say, you know, Southgate is Ole in the waistcoat. So that's so I don't know. Like, I think Charles has a better. Charles should be able to explain that better. But
I mean, depending on how you feel about Solskjaer, that might be fairly accurate for you, Josh. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. He's a type of the man dresses like Pep and manages like Harry Redknapp. You know, that's I don't know any other way to put it. I think Solskjaer is a great manager, a decent manager, so I won't compare the two. But I don't. He's not a manager that you can really see winning anything. You know, like if with I don't really know how else to put it, but I don't. First of all, I don't know how he got the job. I don't know how he got it. I know he was the U21 manager, and then I think something happened. But like, I feel like there's so many other managers that we could have chosen. You know, it
was a panic call, right? It was like, what was it? Big Sam?
Yeah.
Gambling right before, like he got recorded, like gambling on the players before he was picking them.
Yep.
A couple of weeks before the tournament, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna fire you. We're gonna just appoint you." I feel like that's kind of how it happened.
Yeah,
that's how it felt like, anyways. Sorry, go ahead.
But that's the thing, though. Like, I feel you said it like a panic choice. Like, number one, that almost never works unless you're Chelsea. And you know, it just really, really frustrates me that there's so many other managers. Like, because earlier you said that like Southgate was one of the best or the better managers that we've had. You know, I feel like we've had better managers that just for whatever reason haven't done as well. Like, you know, Fabio Capello won a Champions League. You know, no one's going to sit here and tell me that Gareth Southgate that managed Middlesbrough is better than Fabio Capello, you know? So it's just, for him, I just don't see him as a coach that's really there to win anything. I feel like he's one of those coaches where it's like, yeah, you know, I'm here to, you know, give the young players a chance and try my luck, you know? So I really don't know any other way to put it. And that's fine if you are the U21 coach, but you're not. You're the first team coach now. And that's what really, really frustrates me about him. He's just not going to win anything anytime soon.
So just to play devil's advocate, you know, just to take on the role of my boy Kels real quick, and kind of just balance this up, because I think you guys have kind of said different things, but came to a good point, which is, one, who else, you know? And two, it makes sense with the fact that there isn't names right now in England. There's no real names. Everybody's either coming or has gone, right?
Yeah.
And so it makes sense that your under 21 coach, who has coached all of these guys who are up and coming, to now bring them up through. And to your point, Charles, perhaps he is that transition, but and maybe make or bust, right? But it gives that consistency for the up and coming guys in terms of training, in terms of expectations, in terms of management, right? So they can still be boys, like Josh was saying. They can still be boys, but then they can still go out there and perform because they know the system. And to your point, you know, the Middlesbrough system, sure. But it's nonetheless there is some logic in there, and so I you know, again, Kel, I'm not an anti thing. The only manager in the world I hate on is Tuchel, for the record. Just let me know. Any other manager that I hate, it's just Pep Guardiola, because, you know, Real Madrid, Barcelona, that's it. Those are the only two managers in the world that I hate. And Tuchel, I will admit, I must say it here because I didn't say it last time. I'm hating. I have no reason to be hating on him. He's proven himself this year. Anyways, that I felt like I needed to say that. But again, I think it's the best decision for what you have and for what you guys are trying to get to. Because really, the Qatar World Cup, I think that is the point. That is when you guys will break through. As it is right now, this is just a transition. You guys need to connect the future with the past, and Southgate is that consistency for the future. So that's the logic I see in it all, and I don't hate him. I don't think he's an Ole in a waistcoat. even whoa.
So
sorry, we got hooligans in my neighborhood.
No.
Go ahead, Charles.
So to that point, I 100% agree with everything you just said, if I'm being honest. But as U21 coach, his record, he didn't. I don't think he won anything when he was U21 coach. And if he is going to be that transition or that bridge to help bring the younger players up into the first team, he would make a phenomenal assistant manager. He'd make a phenomenal assistant manager. I don't want it to be like, oh yeah, I hating on Southgate because he hasn't managed anyone other than Middlesbrough and U21s. Like, I'm hating on him because I just don't see a plan, really.
Yeah.
I don't see a plan. I don't know why. I don't know why you would bring 4 right backs to play a tournament of 8 games or something, or 12 games, maximum. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why I don't know many teams that have 4 right backs. It's I don't know.
Could it be your left back situation? Could it be your left back situation that you only have Shaw? And I mean, some of those right backs might be ambidextrous to play on the left. Because really, your left back situation is just Shaw, right? Otherwise, you're playing 3 in the back. So I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah. Well, if that isn't, then fair enough.
I think it's I think we're all at this point. It's like a kumbaya moment, right? We've all overlapped enough with the gray zone. But I think Jeff did nail it, though. I think it's just of the options that are available, given that England has this innate deference to an English manager managing the English team. It's I just don't know who else would have been available. I mean, they can go get Lampard, but then you don't want that hexagon either, because that's a whole different story. But I think that's if England would just national teams need to just take a step back and just be like, yo, we're just going to treat it like clubs and just get the best manager to manage our teams where we have the best players. They just need to do that, because it's not just we don't really have an option, right? So that's a whole different thing. But I feel like that's because even France does the same thing, right? Everybody defers to coaches of the same nationality. South America, they just don't care. They just do
Belgium.
Belgium. Belgium, they just won silverware aggressively.
Did
the new Etihad, right?
England did the whole foreign coach thing with Capello.
They went for the wrong one. One. Capello is super defensive. He coached Madrid twice, and watching him, yes, you can win a tournament, but it's it's just Mourinho without him cussing out his players in public. That's Capello.
Or the goals.
Quite frankly. Sorry?
I said or the goals, because Mourinho gives you goals.
Yeah. Capello is literally you're gonna win, but it's going to be 1-0 the entire way.
Did Capello coach Italy?
Yeah.
He seems like an old school Italy type of coach.
Did he coach Italy?
Who?
I don't know if he coached Italy. Capello, yeah.
I think he might have, actually.
Anyway,
probably in the 90s.
But he's definitely he won in the Italian league.
His motto is a legendary Italian coach.
Yeah.
And then
Sven Goran Eriksson is this is why I was going to mention this earlier when Jeff mentioned Italy. I was the fact that Mancini is the manager of Italy immediately makes me feel Italy is going nowhere. They are going nowhere.
No,
in my opinion.
I think Italy has that,
Agreed.
but I think the Netherlands probably has a better chance than Italy does. I think. Like Italy, they have good players. Don't get me wrong, but I think their players are still. I would say the World Cup. Then we can start talking about Italy. I would say.
I feel like Mancini is just an older version of what Charles has described Southgate as. It's like, yes, he won the Champions, he won the league with City, but I could have won the league with City with that City squad, quite frankly. And like,
that City money too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I would not need to win it on the last day in the last 30 seconds. Are you ever just
Man United lost that league. They didn't win it.
Yeah, that's more what
I'm still sour about that.
That's more what it is.
Yeah.
So it's like the Mancini, the Italy, and I don't even know how I got on that. I just wanted to talk smack about Mancini and Italy, but that's that. I got that off my chest, so we're good.
Nice. No, I'm with you on
that.
No,
my point about Italy is that I think they are the most underrated. That's it. And it's not because of the coaching. It's just because they are well balanced. They're finally gone to the point where they're connecting the future with the past. That year where they won it with against France, again, it was like United. France lost it. Italy didn't win it, right?
Yeah.
But now they've finally gone to the point where they're like, man, yeah, Italy is finally getting to the point where they actually have talent coming through in multiple positions. They just need a coach, right? Like maybe this is Conte's time to come back to the next World Cup. Maybe it's time for Conte to go there, you know. And I think it'll be very good for them. But yeah, that was just my point about Italy. I wasn't saying that. I'm not gonna lie. I did forget Mancini was a coach. The only thing I ever remember this guy is that he always wears a scarf of the club he's in, and he irritates me. Man. I'm seeing that. I'm like, you think you are Pep Guardiola with your fashion? Come on. Yeah, sorry.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, guys, let's we've definitely touched on England, which has been a huge talking point for a lot of people, right? No, but it is what it is. Like England seems to have the biggest noise, right? In terms of going into this tournament. So let's just obviously we'll do a quick thing on the group F just because of time. But I wanted to talk about this Belgium. Because I feel like Belgium, they were that team that just never really got there. They had the ingredients, but you know that pot never really came out strong. So, do you guys feel like this is Belgium's last hurrah, or are they past their like stage?
They're past.
Are they past? Do you think this is the last?
They fully missed it. I'm sorry. And the fact that De Bruyne is actually like a full on maybe until like the end, like it's full on over. Like let's be real. Lukaku goes down, they're done. Like let's be very real. That's literally all they have. And the fact that you're resting on Lukaku, right? No, not even you, Lukaku. Let me be real. You take them out.
Belgium's team actually. I gotta see.
Belgium is done. Karate. I watched the game. Who was it? Was it Spain? I can't remember the game they played. Recently they won 1-0, and Croatia. Man, they got counterattacked so hard. And like Kel is saying, Vermaelen is on the team. Like they are literally going to get beaten on counterattacks. What they did to Brazil in the last World Cup, it's over. It's done. That was it. That was your chance.
Oh yeah, Belgium, they have a lot of aging players, eh?
Yeah, they're literally
very young, either very like aging or very young.
Yeah,
they don't have like in the middle.
Oh, and Hazard is. You know, like Hazard is done. Like they missed their chance, man. They missed the chance.
No, they're. You know what they are? They're a good FIFA team. Like on the FIFA game. Yeah, like they would kill it.
Well, on that note, according to FIFA, they're number 1 right now in the world.
Of course.
Back to the fans.
Oh my goodness! Hey, FIFA, you know what it is? FIFA and UEFA did not like France for some reason, man. They did not like that team. I don't know how the world champions.
And I don't get it.
I don't get it. Like groups, I don't understand how that works out. Like,
no,
France
the problem is
the hardest groups in the nations.
The problem is France always struggles to qualify for some weird reason. That's the problem because it's just like it's a math.
It's
just like
it's like tennis. Yeah. It's like the ranking for tennis.
How many games they'll win the World Cup and then they will just like start like tying against Turkey, tying against Liechtenstein. Like they just start doing weird things.
They need the last 3 games to
Remember the last what was the Euro 2008? Was it the World Cup 2006, 2010? Zidane had to come out of retirement just to like get them to qualify for the World Cup because they were literally like they didn't win the next 3 games. They were going to not make the World Cup, and Zidane literally came out of retirement to play for them and then win the next 3 games and then went to the World Cup and then headbutted somebody in the final, but that's neither here nor there. But it's for some reason France is just like that team. Whereas I think that's also the thing where they have lost every first game of the qualifiers for any tournament since like every time they've had to qualify essentially for any tournament, they just struggle through. And then so they, in a weird way, they end up screwing Portugal over because Portugal will like run through and they're like, oh, we're a top tier team. And then France like crawls in there as a 3rd tier team and I'm like, group of death. And now we're ready to play. Like, let's bring Benzema back now. Like,
they show him group of death and it's just like, yo, Benzema, like all forgiven.
Oh my goodness. It's like in the World Cup with I don't know how Nigeria just seems to always in the same group as Argentina. It's like like why?
We will always face Argentina and we will always lose to them by 1 goal. It's just everything, and they will in the last 20 minutes they will score the final goal, and it's like what 3 World Cups now or 4?
It's been like since 2002.
It was before that. I was in 98.
98 World Cup was like that too. Yeah,
nuts. I didn't even know it was that far back.
It's just non-stop.
Yeah, and then there's always that team that they could beat that they don't end up beating. They'll tie. It's always they'll win one, tie one, and then lose to Argentina. It's like,
and then it's like, you have to beat Argentina 1-0.
Why can't you beat Argentina
to go through? Yeah, it's like we'll lose to Paraguay like 4-1, but then Argentina, it's like we're tied 2-2, and then like the last like 10 minutes somebody scores, and like, but like whatever. It's not about Nigeria. We're not heroes.
Just really quickly, as an English Nigerian. Now that you guys have mentioned that, I have so much more reason to hate Argentina now. As both an Englishman and Nigerian.
Never had love for them.
It's like Ghana's gay for Uruguay.
That's what it is.
It's like Ghana's gay for Uruguay.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You guys brought that on yourself though. That's a different conversation for a different day.
For the record, one person brought that on us, all of us. For the record. I'll leave that to the statistics.
We'll talk about that in the Qatar version of this chat.
Yeah. I think Ghana was that team. Ghana and the Ivory Coast. There were those 2 teams that I feel like they underperformed for the talent that they had too.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like both teams underperformed for the talent. But
definitely Josh, I think it's the thing is like there's always like this one African team. So like Ghana was basically like Nigeria and France '98 because we were basically Ghana at that point. It was like we had all these players who were playing in all these clubs and they came through and
I feel like the '96 like heroics.
Yeah, it's like the Atlanta '96 they won it there. Then in France '98 they came in. There we beat Spain. We beat like Raul Moriente's like hero Spain. And then we ended up losing like 4-1 to Denmark in the knockouts because just some weird stuff. But there's always like this one African team where the talent is right, but they always just. I feel like we need to have a different conversation about like why African teams can break the hump. But every year
that could be a good show. Actually, that would be a good show.
There's one team that has the talent pool. Ghana had it in 2006 and 2010, and then the next World Cup it's basically what Belgium's doing now, where you just bring the same players 10 years later.
They can't play anymore. It's just like
it's over. Like
they're just for just for sentiments at that point.
Yeah. And then Ivory Coast probably was the worst though, to your point, because they had 3 or 4 Champions League winners, multiple league winners. Like they had stars. And they just no balance, no holding mid. Sorry, let that go.
I still think
was that not Yaya's here? Was that not Yaya's team?
Yeah, but Yaya he was playing in City at this point. He was
You're right.
He was trying to score. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's hit this one, guys. Just because of time, we'll just give this one like maybe 10 minutes, and then the last one I wanted to do was players to watch, and then we're done. Because I know it's been a long day for everyone, and it's still a long week ahead.
Group F.
Group F. So that's the group of death. So that's the France, Germany, Portugal, and
Hungary.
Are you guys that confident though? And
100%, 100%. It's France. It's going to be France. France number one, and it's going to end up being a goal difference between Germany and Portugal.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't see France and Portugal.
Sorry, go ahead, Cal.
Oh no, sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, because I didn't say who between Germany and Portugal. I said we can come to goal difference. So I don't know. I don't know who number 2 is going to be, because Germany lacks goals because they're going to be relying on Timo Werner. We all know what he does in front of the net. And then Portugal. The problem with Portugal is Santos, their manager. He's sorry. I was going to say something. I realized this is live, so I'm not going to say what I was going to say. He really likes Ronaldo. You guys know what I was going to say, right? And that riding of Ronaldo is going to be their downfall, because they have so much good talent from front to back that they should be able to come out with France. They should be.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But do you think that Ronaldo thing is the Santos? I feel like any coach would go through that same issue though, because it's Ronaldo. Like, how do you? If he wants to play, he's going to play. It's like Ibrahimovic for Sweden. I feel like
no.
Certain players,
Sweden. Come on, Sweden did not have Bernardo Silva, Jota, right? You had Ruben as your, and then they have fullbacks. They have Guerrero on the left. They have your boy Bruno Fernandez.
No, I know. I'm not arguing about the players they have. I'm just saying, like, I just feel it's like Messi, for example, Argentina. If Messi wants to play till he's 40 years old, I'm sure the Argentinian coach will figure out a way to fit it in.
Yeah, but Josh, I'm not saying bench Ronaldo or don't start him. I'm saying tell Ronaldo you're playing on the left wing.
Oh, like playing around.
You know what I'm saying? You have clear direction. You're not roaming in the front and not ever, like you have no defensive duties, but you are not playing as you're not pushing the line in the middle. You're on. I don't know why he's playing him as a striker. Even in Real Madrid, he was playing when he was playing as a supporting as a supporting striker. He was on the left. He was on the left. He wasn't playing in the middle with Benzema, because you're going to occupy the same spot, and then he goes and plays Jota on the left.
Would you play Felix? João Felix as the forward then for Portugal?
He's also a winger. No, him and Ronaldo cover the same spaces.
He's that role. I've never understood his role. Like, I'm still trying to figure out like João Felix. Like, is he a winger or is he a forward?
So Diego Simeone is trying to figure that out as well, my friend.
You're not alone.
I like him though. I like him as a player. I just don't know what his actual like role is.
You're not alone at all. This is like my problem with Lingard, but I mean we're not talking about England anymore. But that's my whole thing. These players, these Lingard, Dele Ali's, I'm like, what are you? I don't. You're like a center attacking midfielder that doesn't assist. You just score. It's just weird. Anyhow, my whole thing though, me and Jeff are on polar opposites on this whole point. I think Ronaldo at 36 should play center forward. I think Portugal is a tournament team. I think once they get there, they will figure out a way. They're just gonna like end up playing some absorb counter play to Ronaldo score, and that's why I think they have just more in the final third. I think Germany is more balanced, but I just think they lack a lot more experience. I feel like Portugal just has a lot of people who have done it on a bigger stage, and should be able to get past the group stage. Yeah, so that's why I think they're gonna go in over Germany. I think Germany can probably still make it through the little playoff thing, but I think the top 2 automatic qualifications are gonna be France and Portugal.
You said Portugal had more experience in top stage than Germany's squad.
Yeah,
individual players.
The current squad.
They're pretty young.
The current squad,
compared to the Portuguese.
Compared to the Portuguese.
Werner, I mean, we can keep going. How many of the Bayern players?
Kimmich?
Kimmich is still young though.
How many goals have those three people scored combined? Like two?
No, not goal scorer. We're talking about experience. You're saying experience at the top stage. You're talking about a club level as well, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about being able to finish teams off. Sorry, go ahead, Josh.
Oh no, sorry. Go ahead. I was gonna look for.
Oh, their ability to finish teams off, not their experience, not necessarily like their experience playing on the top level. Just like I agree with you on that one. They don't have the goal scorer. They don't have the goal scoring. I agree.
Yeah,
on that one.
I think Portugal at the back they've got Pepe, who like he's going to do what he needs to do to win.
Ruben, who's
like they have a reasonable back front. It's just like that same holding that everybody is lacking. And sure, Germany can play Kimmich there, and then that helps. But then they have nothing else. Like everybody else is okay. Sure. One Champions League, man. Everybody else is a bunch of babies. Everybody else is a bunch of babies in Germany, right? Like I think Germany in the World Cup will be more potent. I think they're basically like a France in like 2014, where it's like sitting there like this team 2 years from now is going to be crazy, but they're just not there yet. And I think they can make it through in the playoffs, but I just don't think. I think Portugal. I think Ronaldo is just gonna. It's his last like tournament. Like I can see him just going off, like just scoring 2 goals a game, and then they're not gonna win, in my opinion. But I can see them. They're riding pretty high, and they've got some pretty strong talent. I just don't see them not showing up, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think Portugal. I feel Portugal in the sense of, I think Germany, like you guys were saying, a more balanced team.
Yeah,
but like we're saying, the average age of the Portuguese team is probably like 26, 27, and these are players. When you look at the players who are playing for. They're the main guys on their teams.
They're peaking now.
Yeah, they're peaking now. Yeah. Versus Germany, they have, young talent, but they're not there yet. I think maybe the World Cup. I think we might start seeing Germany make a statement for the World Cup. Charles, what's your opinion on that group? I guess Kels, did you finish your opinion? I can't remember.
Oh no, yeah, I was done. I said France, Portugal, that's it.
And then Germany 4.
Yeah, I would probably say
again Hungary. Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I would probably say France, Portugal as well. I have a feeling that France might not top the group, but will still go on to win the tournament. Yeah. I feel like it will be Portugal that tops the group, but France will win the tournament.
Yeah, I can see something like that happening.
Yeah.
That's very French.
But that's how Portugal won the Euros last year. Went through the playoff. Because remember, they didn't even score a single goal.
They didn't win a game until like the semis, or they didn't win a game in regular time until like the semis or something like that. It was crazy.
I think they were scoring like penalties or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just beat France and like yeah. I do remember we were in Mississauga when that happened. Oh, that was so painful to watch. But yeah, okay. So I guess
So I can't let this go, guys. I can't let this go. I do not see how you guys think Germany is not literally ready. Everything you said about Portugal. So for the record, Bernardo Silva and Jota are not the stars on their team. Whereas you have Germany. Germany actually has G's from front.
Who's Germany's striker? Who's their front three?
They fully benched Werner. It's Havertz. They're playing Havertz, Muller, and who's the other guy? Havertz, Muller, and who the other guy is. But like
they're not playing. Pep doesn't coach internationally, eh? Nobody's gonna play 4 attacking midfielders and no holding midfield. Like
Joachim Low does. That's why he saw Werner's problems early. He's been benching Werner from time. And he's just been like, I'm gonna play Muller as a center forward. I'm just saying, you guys, it's like some underestimation about Germany's time. Like Germany the World Cup and the Euros before, they were going through the transition where you had Götze and Özil and
Actually, you know what? Now that Jeff said that,
listen to these names.
Germany has Gnabry, Emre Can.
Yeah, Gnabry. That's who the other person is on the other side.
Emre Can?
No, I didn't say Can. I did not say Can. I did not say Can.
And Josh Kimmich and Tony Kroos. Actually, that midfield is solid though.
The midfield
is pretty good.
Yeah, they're like Madrid. They're like Madrid. The midfield is solid, but like you just no teeth at the front, in my opinion. Anyways, I think Germany will be better 2 years from now. I think they need to figure it out and go there. I do think they have they have probably one of the most balanced teams. Not balanced. They have one of the better mids and back. Their problem is where everybody else is overloaded and ultimately, like, I don't know how many goals is Kroos and Kimmich going to score combined. Like I just or Havertz. Like I don't.
Agreed. I mean, look at that Chelsea game. It was 1-0. Like I don't see, and Havertz scored. I don't see Germany scoring more than like on average like 1 or 2 goals a game. But that Portugal-Spain game, 0-0. I mean, like I think this modern game is won in the midfield. And ultimately, where Germany was struggling last time, they don't have that problem anymore. They don't have that problem where they don't have a creator like they have Havertz. Before they had Kimmich, they had Kroos, they had all these people. They didn't have a creator. Now they have Bruno, like you said, who was more of a cam, right? And then they have what's it called? Havertz, who can create. It's the same thing we were talking about England. Yes, they don't have a striker. But England won in Brazil with Klose as their striker. Like again, I think Germany is being underestimated here. But I don't
Closer
think
the deadly striker for that German team that won, man.
Yeah, man.
He holds the record for most goals scored in one World Cup. He just sat in the box and buried everything. That's all he did.
But like he had service for days. Man.
Who is going to score on that team? That's what's confusing me. I just don't see it.
The team.
Okay.
Low loves the Pep Guardiola style. He's been playing that with Germany from time.
They have a pretty good coach though. Is it Flick? Is the one? Is it Germany's coach now?
He takes over after this tournament. I think.
He takes over after.
Yeah.
Who's their coach?
I don't disagree with you, Cal or Charles, in terms of how it was going to end up. I wasn't able to say who number 2 was between Germany and Portugal. But again, I think it's going to come down to the fact that Portugal, even in the last tournament, even when they won the Euro, their goal tally was not something significant, and they had Ronaldo. So
that's why I'm picking Portugal. And to be fair, though, I'm being very vocal here. But it really, to me, I just know that France is making it out, and then it could be either or. My whole thing is just like if I had to place a bet, I would bet on I would always bet on Ronaldo's team, especially with that backup squad, to make it out if it's his last tournament ever. I feel like everybody is just they're going to be focused. They're going to be literally playing pass the ball to Ronaldo in the box. And I just feel like he's going to they're going to win, make it past the group stages. They will fail later on. I feel like because they're basically like England, but not anywhere near as talented in my opinion. So I just can't see them going much further than that. But I think they will make it out of the group stage.
Ronaldo's trying to break that international tally as well. So.
He's trying to break that international tally.
Yeah, that is fair.
He's going to snap, I think.
Lest we forget, though, the Portugal's right back is Semedo. We all know what happened to him. I'm just gonna leave this here. No.
Davis retired Semedo from Barca, basically, right? That's basically what happened after that one.
Yeah, oh, really?
Yeah.
From?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
After that Bayern, when he got wrecked.
He pulled the name out. Beat you.
I was watching TSN highlights. Semedo was on there getting dropped like multiple times. Like, oh no,
multiple times, man. I don't think I've ever felt bad for Barcelona fans ever in my life. But when I saw him get rocked by a fullback time and time again,
goodness,
felt bad.
that's too funny. I guess that's why he's at Wolves now.
He's a Wolves.
Yeah.
And then, ironically, this season, Pepe, I'll send you guys a video. Pepe basically wrecked him. This guy just can't defend, to Jeff's point.
Oh, yeah, Pepe
did the same thing, like dropped him twice in the box. I was like,
oh, geez.
How? Like, dropped him, he got up, dropped him again. I was like, how? They're just cutting left and right. Anyhow, that's neither here nor there.
But they do have Cancelo, and I don't know if you guys know what's happened with Cancelo. Was it injuries at the end of the season? Because he just saw Sun fell out of the team in City.
I thought he was there. He played in the last game of the league.
Okay. Yeah, because
he's on the squad.
Okay. So Tomato may not start. Well, most likely will not start if Cancelo is healthy. Because Cancelo.
Who do they have on the left? Cancelo can play left and right, though, right?
Guerrero. They have Guerrero from Dortmund, who is pretty solid in his own right.
Yeah, I know you guys have. They have Bruno Fernandez from Sporting as well. I hear he's
right.
good.
Yes.
He's linked to a couple of clubs.
Wait, where's Telles from? What
he's Brazilian.
He's Brazilian.
Brazilian. Okay. Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, that's my little Portugal rant.
No, Jack, you made some good points though, because I wasn't from. Like Germany is always that team that you're always going to be nervous about, right? Like they're always favorites, but I didn't look at it I actually haven't seen their team on paper because I know, like, you just kind of mentally think of a team. You're like, oh, they're young, but looking at the team on paper, they can make a huge statement with that team. But like we're saying, I still feel like, especially Portugal, they've won something more recently, and. Yeah, they have some aggressive winners on that team. So, yeah. What's it called? So I think the last one we're gonna do was, I guess we could let's lump this in. Players to watch, and everyone will just go around and say. After this, everyone will just go around and say their final four. Like basically the last four teams in the semis. And then your favorites to win. I don't know. Is there any players to watch this tournament? I don't really know. There's going to be a lot of breakout.
When you say players to watch, you mean like breakout, like they're up and coming, or are you talking about like Ronaldo? You know what I'm saying? Like,
let's say let's do up and coming, or just it could be a mix.
Can I throw Benzema into that up and coming since he's been away for 7 years?
Yeah.
I guess I'll go first. Players to watch for me. Kai Havertz in Germany. Jota in Portugal. This guy scores headers for fun. It's pretty incredible. And to be very real, all of England. I think for me, I've been entertained. I've been telling I want to watch them because, like you guys said, they're talented, and I feel like they're just one tournament away. I feel England is always just one tournament away. But like I'm gonna watch England games because they should do well and they should give you.
Are they one coach away?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say nothing. But
I wasn't going.
No, that's very fair.
I was gonna keep my mouth shut on that one. You read my mind.
And yeah, I think I've been watching a lot of the friendlies because I've been. You said something in the beginning, Josh, when you said that people think that international is boring. International is a lot of fun. Because there's so much is in the air. It's not like club where you're like, I know this club. Like if we're talking about club and talk about the Final Four for Champions League, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Top four for the World Cup or Euros, you're just like, I don't know, France, and then like who else, right?
Yeah.
But for me, I'm excited. I've been watching a lot of the friendlies. I think for me, the team. Those are my players to watch. Just those two. The team to watch though, for me, again, I've said it. Team to watch for is Italy, and it's not because of their coach. It is strictly because I think their coach is lucking out from a great timing. If I was to add one more player to watch, it'd be Lukaku, because this guy has a chip on his shoulder. This guy is in phenomenal form right now. I watched the game in Spain, Croatia. You cannot handle him. That strength when his back is to the goal, whew, one touch, garbage, but like his strength to give him like 4 touches, phenomenal.
Yeah,
phenomenal. So yeah, those are my players and the one team to watch.
Okay. I'll go next then, I guess. Players to watch. I think I'm going to say I think Kai Havertz as well is going to have a good tournament. João Felix, I think will be good. And I'm gonna say this. Maybe it's more wishful thinking than anything, given if certain events happen. But I'm gonna say Jadon Sancho. Hopefully, I think he'll have a good. Well, I hope he has a good tournament anyway. But like, I hope Man United sign him before he has a good tournament, so it doesn't drive the price down.
Competition in the market.
Yeah. I think those three. Lukaku is a good pick. I'll give you that, because I think I said it last time I was on. Like, I think he's one of the most disrespected footballers on the planet, and yet he's done it everywhere he's gone. He's scored goals. So while for me that's probably an obvious one, I agree with you. I agree with you on that one. I don't know who else.
Yeah, it's a hard one.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, without going out and saying like all of France, right? Like
yeah,
yeah. Like, I'm trying to stay away from that. Yeah.
John Stones.
Wait, sorry. Who's your team to watch though? Who's your team to watch?
Team to watch. Belgium. Belgium. They might surprise us. Listen, like you said, you said that past it. I'm gonna say it's their absolute last chance to win something before this golden generation is done. So I think they'll also come out with something to prove. You know, like a lot of the players in the when they played in the World Cup last, you know, I feel like they were probably a bit. No, wait, maybe I'm thinking of the last Euros, not the World Cup, because they did all right in the last World Cup. Yeah, I think I'm thinking of the last Euros instead of the World Cup. I was going to say, like, they were a younger squad there. I think in the World Cup, like, a lot of their players were, you know, more so in their prime. And now they're kind of getting to that point where they're getting over the hill. So, you know, they'll have a good blend of, you know, youthful exuberance, I'll say, and experience, I think. So I think they'll probably be a good team to watch, or an entertaining team to watch, I'll say, for however far they make it.
Yeah, because I did mention that they have like the extreme of very young or like basically, ready for retirement.
Yeah. Like, I do still think it is their last chance to win anything, and that's maybe being a bit generous, but because their best players, I think, are getting over the hill. But, you know, you never know. I think they might surprise you.
And are injured.
Yeah. Well, haven't played all season.
Well, I almost swore that.
3 years. Last 3 years. Hazard has not played for the last 3 years.
Wait, who's injured? Who's injured for them? It's just De Bruyne?
KDB and Hazard.
Eden Hazard. Well,
Hazard's injured as well.
Played.
Hazard has not played more than 30. I think he's not played more than 60 minutes, except for one game in the last like 2 years. It's pretty bad.
Well, I'm changing my pick, man. I'm choosing England.
Welcome.
Oh, man. I'm changing my pick. I'm choosing England, and I'm gonna hope Southgate proves me wrong.
Sure. I'll go next. The players to watch. Now, there's going to be 3 categories in my opinion for this. I'm going to give one player in each category. One is going to be like an outside shot. One is going to be like everybody's going to roll their eyes, and then one's going to be like the actual answer. I think the player to watch, quite frankly, in my opinion, is Phil Foden. I think he's, quite frankly, the best British player I have ever seen in my life, to be honest.
Oh, damn.
I'm going to go out
This boy not even old enough to grow a beard.
Damn.
That's a big claim.
Dirty. He's like the decision making. Anyhow, I think he's the player to. I think he's going to be the player who's going to go into this tournament as a prospect and come out as a star.
Okay.
And then I think a player that like just kind of needs like like the paddles from the heart type of thing. I think Pogba is going to do what he does in these international tournaments. I think he's going to come out even more rejuvenated. And then my hopeful pick, and it's weird because I went on about how much I hate England, but the pick that like I just wish he would get more time. I don't think we're gonna see him much unless England has won the first 2 games, and that third game is just like a dash away. But it's Reece James, man. I think he is like,
that's a good shout.
Easily one of the most underrated players, like out there. Period. So that's those are my 3. And then team to watch for me is America more than a surprise, but I think it's Portugal. I think they're just like, I think they have the right balance of like people who would they just seem like the quintessential tournament team. And then that guy who was their coach, like that's the guy who won the Euros with Greece, isn't it? Like that's the same guy.
Yeah, it's the same guy.
And then he won whatever with I'm like, this guy just like he knows he's not trying to pass. He's just like he's just gonna put it in the box, hit the net. That's it. So I think they're the team to sleep on. Plus, it's like they're coming off of a good tournament. They have enough players who are actually in their peak right now, at least in the scoring front, and I think they can like surprise a couple of people. But I don't think anybody's really checking for Portugal like that because nobody really. I feel like everybody just feels like that last Euro they won was a giveaway in a weird way. So I don't think anybody is really like, oh my God, we're facing Portugal. I feel like they're going to get underrated a lot and surprise a lot of teams, just like what they did last time. So that's it from there. Yeah.
I'm kind of like, I'm between like Portugal and Italy because I'm excited for Italy and the Netherlands because we haven't seen them in an international tournament in a while. So that's what I'm more excited about, to see them back in the tournament, and see the stars that are going to be there. But I've always been nervous about Portugal for some reason, just, with the crop of players that they have. But my top 3 players, I would say, Grealish. I definitely want to see Grealish on international stage. Like, it just pisses me off that he's still at Aston Villa. I feel like he should be doing something better.
You feel like it should be a Man U? Does you feel like it should be like a Man U? Is that what you're saying?
Like currently Man U, but I still feel like he should be in the Champions League. Like, I feel like player of his caliber should be playing in the Champions League, not still trying to drag a team, from bottom of the table to mid table. João Felix, I've always liked João Felix. So he's somebody that I want to see shine, and I think I just like his vibes.
You EPO guys, you guys been liking João Felix, eh? About both of you out here. Okay, all right.
I don't know. It's all about I think he's talented too. So, and then my third one is Bruno Fernandez. And the reason I want to see him is because I want to see how he's going to play, how he's going to be utilized for Portugal. And I just want to see a different side to his game, because I feel like this is my opportunity to see him in a different light, and not to be, because I feel like as in a United shirt, he's done it. He's basically the reason that United finished second, as much as anybody wants to argue that. But I think I've been really harsh on his game. So I want to kind of see what he does with Portugal. So that's why I'm curious to see him. So
my thing with Portugal is that, and I was even kind of thinking this, like when I said João Felix, and I'm more speaking to his potential, but like my thing with Portugal or teams that always have this big superstars that like the younger or the promising players just always tend to get overshadowed by them. Mm-hmm. And so then it then becomes very tough to see what they're actually made of, or the actual talent that they have when you have that big shadow, that big CR7 size shadow cast over you, and it's like you could have an opportunity to shoot, or you could have an opportunity to pass it to Ronaldo and have him shoot. And it's like, which one are you more likely to choose, knowing that if you make the wrong decision, you're going to get it probably from him, but also from, the country as well. So I that's kind of my thing with players like that. I think it's the same thing with Argentina, or any club. Well, yeah, club, but like any international team, especially that has that big superstar, which kind of sucks.
I think it's worse when it's like kind of like how Portugal was, I'll say 5 years ago, where it was just Ronaldo and everybody else was just like the supporting cast. But I think it's a bit different now. Like Ronaldo is there, but you can, like the last game against Spain, you could tell like he's taking more of a backseat role now. Like he still wants to be there. He's happy. I feel like it seems like he's more happy to be there than it's my right to be here, if that makes sense. I feel like from what I saw from that Portugal-Spain game, I just feel like he's getting to that point right now. He's just trying to be that father figure versus, hey, give me the ball all the time. Because I think he's seen that, that team is pretty studded. Like they have some good quality players. So
it's true, but Ronaldo still has records to break as well. So
I think, and I think my biggest issue with Portugal, and that's why for me Portugal, I have no idea how they're going to perform, but I expect a lot out of them. I think that's it. I don't think they're underrated. I don't think people don't expect anything from them simply because they have Ronaldo and he has a great supporting cast. My problem with them, and this is for you England fans who do not watch La Liga, how Felix won't pass that ball to Ronaldo, and he will shoot it. How Felix, he believes in himself, which is good. But the problem with how Felix is that you have Bruno Fernandez, you have Bernardo Silva, you have Jota, and all those three guys, I've seen friendlies where Ronaldo should have passed and he didn't pass it, and they're looking at Ronaldo like, what the hell, And that's my issue. I think this is where I think France and England will have leaps and bounds ahead of everybody, and why I threw Italy as an underdog, because that team chemistry, right? That team chemistry. I haven't seen that from Portugal in any of the.
Well, I think Portugal might start with them four for the first game, but I don't think that them four are gonna start somebody is gonna hit the bench. Like they're gonna. Because that's my whole thing with Portugal. It's like that with that coach and that team. Like they're going to be playing 4-4-1-4 or whatever it is, like 4-1-4-1 or something. Yeah, which is like just a ridiculous formation. Yeah. But like Jota, Ronaldo, João Felix, Bruno Fernandez, like four of them can't play.
I think like it was going to be either
play at the same time.
Bruno.
Then there's still like Silva,
because I feel like that they're still a player.
Yeah. Felix usually gets dropped, and that's because he's literally left wing Jota, striker Ronaldo, right? Like he's the two positions that he could play. There's two people that you will put ahead of him because he doesn't give you that aerial capabilities that Jota and Ronaldo give you, right? And then his decision making and his passing, like it's not really there. Right, and if you watch him this year,
he's a city player. He's a great city player.
There you go. So, yeah, I again, I'm anxious. I'm anxious to see how Portugal does.
Yo,
But
I'm gonna be honest.
I don't think they're gonna.
I'm gonna be honest,
they're
man.
gonna disappoint me.
England is a team to watch. I just don't want to say it, but in my opinion, like these motherfuckers, they can fuck around. Wow, I'm really sorry. They could mess around and like win this out of nowhere. England, like, I don't know if any other team has that much talent
outside of France. Yeah.
So, France is like it's different because it's everybody knows it's coming. England is like they're deep, man. They're really deep. If they had a Pep, a non-tournament Pep, like a English League Pep, they probably would win it.
Yeah. No, like England, and also because of like just the ties to the EPL and stuff, right? It's always exciting to see England from that aspect as well, too. Yeah. Just seeing those players, right, play together.
It's like for once, I feel like because every tournament, I feel like England always feels like they have a chance, and I feel like this is the first tournament in a very long time where I was like, I feel like can legitimately, they could sneak in there. Like I think they're like top 3 teams. I don't know.
You're ranking them.
I don't know that there's like a third best squad on the Euros than England. I just don't see it. Like it's a lot of talent in my opinion on that team.
So then you want to take the lead on the top 4 then? It sounds like you have France, you have England. Is it Portugal who's number 2 over England?
No. Top 4?
Mm-hmm.
I was saying just last 4. Since
I haven't looked at the tables to see what's feasible versus not, but I think
top 4.
I think France, England, Portugal, and I would probably and then Germany. I'd say that's my top 4 at this point.
So I guess top 4 can make the last 4 because we haven't looked at the table to see what is possible, right?
Yeah, I guess I didn't really look. Because I knew it was kind of like confusing how
especially that playoff thing.
Finish second in one group, then it changes versus if you finish first. Yeah, it's a bit confusing to map it out.
Okay, what about you, Charles? Top 4 for the last 4.
Ooh, I'm gonna obviously France will be in there. I don't know. This is tough because I really, really want to give England the benefit of the doubt, but I don't think they'll make it past the quarterfinals. I'm gonna say Spain. I think France, Spain, probably Portugal, and
Belgium.
Not about Hazard.
The moment I dropped the whole Hazard situation, dude was like,
I was done with them, man.
It's
I
tough,
guess, yeah, it really is. Maybe I'm you know what? I'm gonna cheat a bit on this one. I'm gonna say France, Spain, Portugal, and a dark horse, but I don't know which one it will be.
Okay, that's very fair. Yeah, 100%.
Maybe Iceland. You know, there's always that surprise.
Hey, they beat England in the one World Cup, so you know.
Maybe Wales.
That's fair.
Gareth Bale with the goal, maybe. Who knows?
Yo, you know what's funny?
Comes out of jail.
I saw something earlier, Josh, that would interest you. It was your boy Daniel James saying that Wales forwards should be feared in the Euro 2020.
Oh my God! If Gareth Bale has a good Euro 2020, I might stop watching soccer for a year. He's the most frustrating. Oh, well, look who came back.
Good job, he's still online. I'm a logger.
You guys are talking about Daniel James?
Just had to put my son to sleep, and like classic Arsenal that shows up after an 8-2 drubbing, come back in the second leg.
Oh boy!
You have to say 8-2 specifically though, with these Man U fans on here, Joe. Like I will never like that. Anyhow, it's okay. Let's move on. Let's move on.
I don't even have the heart to roast you about that.
It's okay. I think that was the day.
Happened too.
That was the day where I was like, okay, my number one team is now Madrid from this day going forward. This is ridiculous.
I'm pretty sure that was the day Robin Van Persie knew he was gone.
Yeah, that was probably the day.
Yeah. So Joe, go ahead, Josh.
Sorry, go ahead, Jeff. Sorry.
No, man, just show, man.
No, I was just saying, we were basically wrapping up, just talking about our final four. No, perfect time for you to come in, though. We're just talking about our final four teams to make it to the semis. Obviously, we don't know how the brackets are going to work, but we're just kind of going off just teams.
Yeah. Final four, right? Belgium, England, France for sure, and like I said, my dark horse, Italy.
Yeah.
But this is, I don't know how the brackets work because I don't think England. Yeah, but those would be my top four teams.
Yeah, the top four to most likely make it to the final four.
Yeah.
So you missed the question here, and I'm only bringing this back because you dropped their name. Do you think Belgium, this is their last year, or their time is past?
Well, I think they're kind of like the Italy teams of the 90s in the sense that they're past their prime, but I think that works in their favor.
Okay.
It's one of those, right? Because like Italy is then between 90 to 94, 98, kind of, they were that was sort of that golden generation, that you saw, and it was, but they didn't win until 4 years later, right? And
even when they won 4 years later, all of those players were like at the end.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. Very end.
Yeah, they were, but that's the thing, right? Like it's the reason why I say that with Belgium too is because this Euros, like to me, it's France against the rest of Europe, in my opinion. And when I say the rest of Europe, I mean the teams are all fun, exciting, superstar type teams with no balance. So it's up for grabs, right? And once you get into the finals, just like we saw with the Champions League, right? It's like anything can happen, right? Like I don't think Chelsea deserved to win the Champions League.
Time out though. I know you missed the episode last weekend, but that was a coaching masterpiece in that Champions League final. That's neither here nor there, but please go ahead. I just need to put that in there.
I feel like that was directed at wrong.
I said it after, right? Like I didn't believe the team that won deserved to be in the finals, but the way they played in the finals, you play that game 10 times and it's 5-5 in my opinion. Right? So, but that's all props to. I don't want to spend too much time on domestic football, but I think Chelsea is a system team in the sense that they always have the best players. You just have to get the coach just to get them there. We saw this with Di Matteo as well, right? But in saying that, I think Belgium is past their prime, in my opinion, and they also have some very tired legs at their best position. So like De Bruyne, we don't know how he's going to be. Same for Hazard. Lukaku has had a pretty good run the last 2-3 seasons, but I mean, he's played a lot of games, a lot more than he normally plays domestically, right? So I think they're past their prime, but I think that might work in their favor too. And you could kind of make the same case for Portugal as well. But that's why these Euros are going to be very, very exciting, in my opinion. You're going to see lots of goals, in my opinion. And but France is far and away the best team, and I want everybody to take that in because you're witnessing a team that's going to be around for a very long time. And,
Remember we talked about that, like
it's insane.
One team. could probably beat like 60% of the teams in the Euro, in the
Like
actual
Spain
Euro
10
tournament.
years ago.
Yeah.
Like it's unbelievable the wealth of quality that French team has. Anyways, I don't want to take. I know you guys spoken about.
Yeah.
No, yeah, no. My top four for the last four would be, obviously France. I think it's going to be Germany. I think Italy is going to surprise a lot of people. And the last position, I agree, is a dark horse. And I'm literally in my head. It's like Portugal, Netherlands, right? Like it's just those two for me. Portugal, Netherlands, and England. I'm the only other team I'm more excited to watch besides France is England. I mean, I'm being very honest. I'm not going to really watch Italy unless they make it to the Final Four. I still honestly believe they are a dark horse and they are underrated. But again, there's no team that is as deep and of quality as France. They literally have players for players, and they have people who weren't even called up. Like Laporte decided to get his Spanish citizenship so he can make the Euros because he knows he's not gonna make the France team and start.
England are probably checking. Are you sure you're not? We can't.
It's like, hey, but you've been playing it for a little while.
Right?
We look something up.
Because that would be complete if they had him.
I think Spain. I don't think Spain is gonna do as well as we think. Only because Enrique is kind of like Southgate. He's not really proven himself without
Messi. Spain's forward though. Morata. That's who you rely for goals. Come on,
Morata is the other guy, the other City guy.
Morata's gonna be offside like 90% of the
time. Morata's gonna start the kickoff on the other opponent's team side. That's how bad it's gonna be. Belgium again. They lost their two. They lost their two. Literally, it's like losing Pogba and Mbappe. Right? Let's be very real. Hazard and De Bruyne. That's what it's like losing. Otherwise, I would
Benzema now. You can say Benzema. He's there now.
Come on, man. I put Benzema as the player to watch, right? The up and comer, the non up and comer to watch. That's how I put Benzema.
That's fair.
That's how I see it playing out. And again, Portugal for me, man. I think I'm gonna get shot. I'm gonna regret saying this, but I don't think Portugal is going to be it was going to be in the top four.
I don't think you're going to regret it. Portugal is they're my dark horse. Like I feel like I'm the only person who, and no, it's probably the Madrid. But like Ronaldo also played for United, so I feel like we got some goggles going on here. But yeah, I can see Portugal not making it. I just really have faith in them for some weird reason. Well, we know the reason why it's not weird, but
no. But you make a valid point about Santos. I didn't know he coached Greece. So he won the Euro twice, Greece and Portugal. That's come on. And then you have Ronaldo. I never thought about that.
The exact same way he won it.
Same formula.
Was how he won it. It was like
low block.
Put the ball into the story.
Who coached Greece? The Portugal coach?
Yeah. He coached them in when Greece
2004.
When Greece beat Portugal in that 2004,
I did not know that.
2 goals all tournament.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's true. With the 2 showtime tournament.
I remember that was Ronaldo's last. That was Ronaldo's first international tournament.
Man, he cried so much.
Oh yeah, so much.
It was ridiculous.
He had red. He was red like all around his eyes. Is how bad it was.
This coach took out France the exact same way. Took out the defending champions France. Literally the same thing. Just like corner kick goals, like, and then just 10 men behind the ball for the entire game. I was like, Jesus, like this isn't soccer.
No.
Oh yeah, what was that?
Like the Europa League final.
The Greek striker. What was his name again?
Pauletta.
No, the Greek striker. Remember the one
no,
guy that
I
would
don't
just like
remember.
stay in the box and he
Yeah,
scored all their goals.
it's
The
I
like
know
exact
his
same goal.
face. I don't remember his name.
He scored the
Yeah.
exact same goal
yeah.
at the exact
It was,
same
it was
time.
this. It was this goal. That was the goal.
They just like kept like knocking out one team
They're-
after the other. Just
like a
what
foot
is
taller
going
than
on?
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, honestly, just to wrap the show up, I think I'm pretty much with Jeff. France, Portugal, England, and the Netherlands. I think the Netherlands, they have a good enough squad that I think they could just make their way through
And a very good group.
Yeah, and a very good group of players. Yeah, I feel like they're
But
very
guys,
well organized.
No,
Their
group. No,
manager,
like
though.
group. The group that is their manager.
Their manager, no.
Yes.
Isn't that Frank de Boer?
Yes. The worst
He's
manager in the history of the Premier League.
Wait, who's the manager?
Frank
Frank
de
de
Boer.
Boer.
Frank de Boer.
Oh, the Boer. Man,
Yeah.
I forgot.
The worst manager in the history of the Premier League.
He makes Southgate look
He
like
managed
Fergie.
Crystal Palace.
Yeah. Can I take out Netherlands and put in Portugal now? Yeah, no.
I think you had Portugal in there. Oh yeah, you did have Portugal. That was the one.
No, I didn't have Portugal. No, it's funny. It's just like Italy. I didn't know that Mancini was coaching Italy. I'm like, why would you hire these people? Like, are you that desperate?
I feel like Netherlands would have been dope if Coleman had stayed there.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
basically the group is like. Sorry. Yeah. Go ahead.
No one was talking. It was just you.
Oh, that's awkward. So yeah, I feel like Coleman had a whole system, and then he just abandoned it and dipped. And then I feel like the group is still playing Coleman's system, so they haven't really absorbed the Frank de Boer nonsense fully yet. So like to your point, like they could just make it through and then crash, but I do not trust Frank de Boer as he's everywhere he's gone. His track record is trash.
He's definitely got something to prove. Let's just say that.
yeah. That's a much better way of putting it. That's what I was trying to say, guys. Yeah, I'm done now.
Oh wow!
Man.
Anyone want to add some last words before we sign off?
When you're out.
Whoa! You talk about turning back the hands of time on that one. Just keeping on the international tip. Just keeping it fun. Who do you guys think has the best jersey? Just the last one. Who do you think has the best kit? Because there's a pretty, Belgium I thought had the worst kit like last Euros. So they stepped up their game. But who do you think has the best kit?
I like the England away kit, the red one, like the color. Well, no, sorry, the blue one with like the red print with the color. I really like that.
I like the England cases. Yeah.
I
like them. I feel like Portugal have always had nice kits. I'm actually not 100% sure what they're wearing this year, but I feel like they've just always had nice kits. I'm actually gonna check it real quick.
They have like the away one that's like the it's like 3 colors. It's actually not bad.
I feel like Portugal is one of those like cheat codes. They're like Brazil. Like they just have like really nice colors.
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
the
they
thing.
just
I mean, you can't go wrong with like red, gold, and I think a bit of blue in there.
Yeah, it's like it's just gonna look really good.
Yeah,
it's gonna sound weird. I'm actually starting to sound like an England fan, which I really don't want to sound like, but I really like I really like the England kit this year.
Don't worry, I'll get you a shirt. You can join in the perpetual disappointment with me as well.
Yeah, I'll take it with you.
Sorry.
Soon I'll be singing "It's Coming Home" and shit. I'm sorry.
It's coming home. He stole the trophy. Get the parade route mapped out. I'm generally a sucker for like very clean kits at like with domestic football. Usually with the World Cups, I like some of the more like flashier kits. You get like mostly the African nations that come with some of the nicer ones. But
I'm gonna send you that Nigerian kit.
Yeah,
that's
what I'm indirectly hinting. Birthday's coming soon, but I really like the France away. The white, it's nice and clean. But have you guys seen the Italy home kit? The blue Puma kit?
No.
It's just beautiful. Like it's not something I normally would like, just because it's got a lot of design on it. But it's just it's the reason why I've been following Italy so much over the last week. Their home kit is unbelievable. I think it's the best kit for the Euros.
Oh yeah, check that out.
Take a look. Take a look. And it's by Puma, who I don't rate when it comes to kits in general.
Yeah, they've always been Italy's sponsor. Yeah, it's not a bad one still.
Italy finally moved on from Diadora. They moved on to Puma.
I think they were Puma for a while.
Oh, okay.
They did. When they started like the really skinny jerseys, I thought they started.
Oh yeah.
Remember when they had that?
even still exists? Maybe
Diadora.
Yeah, that's
no, I think they probably do. Yeah, it's like what's the English one? Umbro.
Hey man, Umbro's back with some retro stuff. It looks nice. But
wait,
if Italy busts out their third kit, they actually have a green, sort of like a bottle green kit that looks phenomenal.
Yeah, it's kind of like this. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like their home kit and the third kit. I don't know if they'll bring the third one to the Euros, but take a look at those kits. I think Italy's looking on point this year. And they look really nice lifting the trophy.
We'll see what their
nice.
We'll see what their hairdo is like. You know, back in the day, the Italians used to be fat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Super slow-mo.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, because they had like Inzaghi, Zambrotta. They all had the long hair.
All of them. Okay, are you going to actually kick the ball, or are you just going
to... Loved watching all those teams till like they won the Euros. Like that was one of the teams that I absolutely hated to watch, and my school was full of Italians. So it was a mess when they won the World Cup.
We were in France at the time. Like I was sitting in my Zidane jersey in France when that happened. I was like, they're not even a good team. Like they're just a bunch of old people.
Do you remember that? Like when that happened, that headbutt, like the entire city was quiet. You could hear like a pin drop. Yeah. Like the next morning, everyone woke up and was still like in shock that happened. It was like
that really happened.
You're going down the street to the convenience store, and everyone is just like, it looks like someone just like the Queen just passed away or something. Like it was like morbid. It was just like that.
The French team had to wait an extra day to come back to France. They didn't come back on the Monday. They came back on the Tuesday. By then, people had started to normalize again. So, okay, now we can listen to Zidane talk, because if it came back on the Monday, it was just a lot. He talked about my mom. Like, that's not the first time anybody's talking about your mom on the field. Like, just keep it together. We only had like 30 more minutes for your entire career.
Was it even 30? Was it even 30, man?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was pretty deep in extra time, maybe like 10 minutes or something.
Yeah, it was unfortunate.
I mean, let's not relive this before I throw away my Zidane jersey in here, please. But
I remember I was so happy when that happened. I was so happy. You know why though? It's because it wasn't even because I cared who won. Like I was really young at the time, and we had this like competition in our class, and we had to randomly pick who we thought was gonna win, and everyone was trying to get Brazil. So I like low-key cheated, and I just took the first one I saw, which was Italy. So I was super happy when that happened. And then when Italy went on to win it, but I felt so bad seeing him walk past that trophy. I was like, man, it didn't have to happen like this. It shouldn't have happened. Not like this, you know? Yeah.
Also, Italians have to be the best penalty takers in the world. From that penalty, that one alone, it was like, it was just all roof, like just left roof, right roof, just all of them. Zambrotta comes on, roof. Okay, like this is not even worth it. Like this is a wrap. Anyhow, I don't want to.
That was like the penalties from the Europa League final.
My God, what was that about? Did we talk
about bins?
That was ridiculous.
I'm like, okay, is this gonna end at some point?
Yeah, I got tired. I was about to like, should I just turn this off? It's really a coin toss in the end, anyways.
Yeah, honestly.
Everybody comes out there like
getting mad. The more penalties that go in, it's like someone just lose already. I don't even care who it is.
You
it just gets to the point that it's no longer like, it starts pulling your strings, and you're just like, okay, can we be done?
After they get to like 11 penalties or 10, the players, before De Gea has to go up there and embarrass the entire world, they just need to just rock, paper, scissors it, I feel like, because it's literally the same thing. Like, it's like, just flip a coin and be like, yeah, you won.
Yeah,
or you lost, and move on, because it's not that the menu though. That was crazy. Like, they're like, nobody rehearsed penalties. I'm like, but these are some of the best penalties I've seen in the past like 3-4 years. So
but I think also because the United, we had rotated like our penalty kick takers. So I think because of that, we just had people who had taken penalties at some point. I think that was also it too. But
got to the point where it wasn't even like exciting it went from like that emotional excitement where it's like, you know, okay, like it's a good kind of anger that I'm feeling, to like, yo, this is really starting to piss me off now. Like, one of these players in yellow really need to miss. Like.
Oh my goodness! I
just
like
even when Man United penalties went, I was like, okay, like good, but like this is really, really getting on my nerves. You know? Like I'm not equipped to handle this kind of stress.
Like it's nice, even as a neutral fan, like penalties can be stressful. Because you just feel like your team is in that position, right? Like, what would you do? So
and what
I just
also
saw the
happens
jersey
as a neutral fan is like at some point you end up like picking. I don't know if I've ever watched the
side,
game. Yeah. And by the time
you end up picking a side.
Yeah, at some point I was like, yo, even as an Arsenal fan, I just really don't like Villarreal and I really don't like Emery. So I was like, United, please, just win.
I was fully Villarreal. I'm like, yo, Spain beat England. That's how I would play. Fully, I was like, I'm tired of this all England final garbage. Yeah, we won it. We were the best nonsense. I'm like, no, you beat them and you show them, Emery. You teach them.
Someone just didn't want the city of Manchester
got real
to be
passionate
happy,
there.
Man's been to 4 finals.
Don't worry, you'll see your boy Tuchel slap Villarreal in the Super Cup. Okay.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I'm telling you, I will be fully neutral on that game because I know for a fact Emery is going to get
won't
rocked.
Be neutral at all, guys. There's not even. I don't think anybody believes it.
No, come on. I'm not rooting for either of them because it's not about a Spain versus England situation anymore. It's fully just Emery, Villarreal. I only rooted for them in that game because of that whole all England final. And
he is also probably already ordered his Villarreal jersey, guys, just for the record.
And because Real Madrid on the last day beat Villarreal, and so I'm like, if Villarreal can beat Man United, then Real Madrid won, indirectly. Just saying.
I think the only way Chelsea is losing that Super Cup is the way Chelsea is losing that Super Cup is because all their players are basically in the World Cup, pretty much. So that would be the only reason that Chelsea would lose is maybe they're using their second string team. But yeah, I don't think Villarreal stands a chance.
That's not an excuse. Okay, Man United should have slapped Villarreal with our second string team. Okay, that's not an excuse.
True.
Yeah,
that is true.
Yeah,
I'm a Spanish league fanatic, and like Man United had no business losing that game. After that game, I was like, man, no.
I was so mad.
Woo! Arsenal had no business losing to Villarreal in the semi. Yeah, let's just be clear. Like it's like that pissed me off.
Yeah, and at that point, it's
these guys when they keep overthinking it. But anyhow, we're not going to go into club soccer anyways. But the overthinking needs to stop.
Soccer.
Football, footy, Joe. Relax. You just got back.
Hurting my feelings already.
What's it called? I actually just saw the jersey that Joel sent. That green jersey is fire, though. And the white one, too, is nice. I never understood why Italy had a blue jersey as their home kit because their flag is green, white, red. So to me, that green jersey could have actually been their home jersey, like their home kit.
Because it's the Azzurri, right? That's why.
The
Azzurri. So
I mean, you said it like we all were like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Is that like Italian for blue or something?
That's why I was like, okay, maybe it might be a thing. So I didn't want to sound like the dumb.
We're all like, oh yeah, no, yes, that's right.
Yeah, because the blue just never made sense to me. Like I just never. It's one of those things you just grew up with, but it never really made sense.
Man. Yeah, like Laureate. That's bang on though, Joe. Good thing for calling that out. Because I was like, wow, I thought I was a football fan, but I am missing out on some basic knowledge here.
Jeff is all about the history.
There is about the history. A really good show on Netflix on Di Biagio. If you guys are interested,
I started really watching good. That. Yeah, I started watching it.
Really well done. Really well done. One of the finest, Roberto Di Biagio, one of the finest to play the game. Yeah, so check it out.
Yeah, I started watching it, but I think I dozed off. It's God. I can't remember last time I finished a Netflix movie. But I'm done for the day is just like.
Oh yeah, movies are hard these days, man.
But yeah, guys, it's definitely been fun. Yeah, we'll touch base again. Obviously, the Euros starts on Friday. I'm sure after the group stage, there'll be lots of talking points for the knockout phase, and obviously there's still going to be transfer rumors going on. I don't think there's going to be any transfer business happening. I think any transfer business that would happen would be stuff that was already agreed, and it's just the medical that will be taking place. But yeah, we'll just keep in touch and go from there.
Yeah,
but guys, it's definitely been fun though, for sure.
Yeah, man, 100%. Can't wait.